Einstein once said, "God does not play dice with the universe." He firmly believed that reality should be clear, orderly, and predictable. However, quantum physics, especially with its recent discoveries, shows us the opposite. The universe is much stranger and more unpredictable than we ever imagined. Scientists investigating the behavior of quantum particles have discovered something that seems almost mystical. The universe is not locally real. This means that what happens at one point in space can, in mysterious ways, influence something at another distant point instantly, without any apparent connection. This doesn't sound like something out of an ancient spiritual philosophy. But this scientific discovery makes us question what we really know about reality. What do you see in your all around is just an illusion, or there is something deeper beyond what your senses can perceive. The mystery deepens even further when we consider that this new scientific vision is also supported by ancient spiritual traditions. Ancestral cultures have always believed that everything in the universe is interconnected, and now science seems to be discovering this same truth from a different angle. Have you ever stopped to think about how this affects your life? If modern science and spirituality agree that our consciousness can shape the universe, what does this mean for your ability to create your own reality? What this means for your ability to create your own reality? At the heart of quantum physics, the concept of non-locality reveals an intriguing truth. Particles separated by vast distances are still mysteriously interconnected, as if they share an invisible connection that transcends space. This idea alone challenges the classical notion of separation and suggests that the universe is in fact a deeply interconnected whole. On a spiritual level, this perception has echoed for millennia. The belief that everything in the universe is interconnected, that all forms of life, energy, and matter are connected by a greater force, directly reflects many philosophical teachings. Movements, such as New Thought, for example, emphasize that the human mind is part of a universal consciousness that connects and unifies all existence. Thus, modern physics begins to glimpse what ancient philosophies always knew: separation is an illusion. Diving deeper into this perspective, an even more fascinating understanding emerges. When we realize that separation is a myth, are we forced to rethink our position in the cosmos? If indeed everything is interconnected, then what we do, feel, and think has a profound impact, not just on ourselves, but on everything around us. This is no longer just a philosophical reflection, but a reality that science is now exploring with more sophisticated tools. Charles Fillmore, for example, argued that the interconnectedness of the universe is not just physical, but also spiritual, and that by aligning with this universal force, human beings can create their own reality and influence the whole. And so we arrive at the crucial point of this discovery: unity. Spiritually, unity has always been seen as the culmination of the inner journey, where the self dissolves as a whole, recognizing that there is no other, the manifestation of a single field of consciousness. Likewise, quantum physics suggests that particles do not exist in isolation. They are part of a unified field that governs reality. Everything we think and we feel, it resonates within the universe. Each of us is deeply immersed in this invisible web of interconnection. And the key to unraveling these mysteries may lie in our own ability to observe and understand the role of consciousness in this great quantum game. Just imagine, the reality around us is not fixed until we observe it. This concept comes from quantum physics, where particles only decide their state when measured. Before that, they exist in a state of uncertainty, as possibilities. A classic example that illustrates this is the double-slit experiment, when scientists shoot particles like electrons through two slits. What they expect to see depends on how they observe. Without measurement, the particles act like waves, passing through both slits at the same time and creating an interference pattern, like ripples on water. However, if they observe the particles during the process, they behave like small solid objects, passing through just one slit. This reveals that the simple act of observation changes the result. In spirituality, this idea is seen in a similar way. Consciousness is like a constant observer of reality, shaping what we perceive. William Walker Atkinson, for example, argued that the human mind has a creative power capable of transforming reality based on our beliefs and intentions. If, in physics, quantum, the state of particles is defined only by observation in spiritual life, what we focus on defines our experiences. What we choose to see, feel, and believe shapes the experiences we attract. All of this suggests that reality is not fixed, but malleable and constantly shaped by conscious observation and intention. This connection between the observer and the creation of reality makes us think about the power of our mind. If the act of observing something as small as a particle can change the outcome in the quantum world, what about our daily choices and thoughts? Our thoughts and intentions shape what we experience. The power of consciousness is not just in perceiving the world, but in actively participating in its creation. Just like in physics, what we focus on and believe falls apart in our experience. Everything around us, visible or not, is immersed in energy fields. In quantum physics, we learn that particles, even when separated, are connected by an invisible field that allows this interaction at a distance. This quantum field is what keeps everything interconnected, as if there were a web of energy sustaining all reality. For many, this idea may seem new, but in esotericism and spiritual traditions, the universal energy field that connects all living things has been discussed for a long time. Thomas Troward believed that this field is governed by a universal mind, and that, by aligning ourselves with this mind, we connect with the infinite flow of possibilities. What science is discovering now, spirituality has been exploring for millennia. Think of it as an invisible network that unites everything and everyone. This interconnected energy field can be felt in practices such as meditation and Reiki, where it is believed that vital energy can be balanced and harmonized. In physics, this quantum field governs the behavior of particles. In spirituality, it influences our health, emotions, and connection with the cosmos. The interesting thing is to realize that both in science and in spiritual traditions, this field is not passive. It responds and interacts with our consciousness, our intention, and our emotional state. Trop argued that by understanding the laws of this field, we can transform our reality and reach higher states of existence. When we realize that we are immersed in this energy field, our understanding of our own existence changes. We are not isolated or separated from the rest of the universe. We are connected to it on every level. This interconnection is what enables experiences of healing, balance, and even the manifestation of desires. Deep down, science and spirituality agree on one point. The energy around us is alive and responds to our interaction. Perhaps by better understanding how we connect to this field, we can discover how to access its full potential. The idea that time and space are absolute has been challenged by both science and spirituality. In quantum physics, it was discovered that particles can interact instantly regardless of the distance between them. This phenomenon, known as entanglement quantum, suggests that time and space, as we understand them, are not fixed barriers. For traditional physics, this seems impossible. However, this perception is already quite familiar to spiritual traditions. The transcendence of time and space is an experience common in deep states of meditation or during mystical practices, where the practitioner accesses a reality beyond linear time. Neville Goddard argued that time and space are illusions created by the human mind, and that, by accessing higher states of consciousness, we can transcend these limitations. He believed that by intensely visualizing a desired situation as if it had already occurred, the practitioner could bend time, bringing the future into the present. This notion reflects the discoveries of quantum physics, where the behavior of particles seems to ignore the linear flow of time and spatial distance, allowing instantaneous interactions as if time did not exist. The way we perceive it, these discoveries lead us to question what time really is and how it shapes our reality. If in quantum science particles seem to disregard limitations, spatial and temporal in the spiritual, we also speak of divine time, where everything is happening simultaneously. Ralph Waldo Emerson suggested that by achieving a deep connection with the whole, time it loses its usual meaning, and we begin to live in a state of eternal now. This makes us reflect on what we are capable of experiencing when we transcend our habitual perception. As we delve into these mysteries, we begin to understand that maybe time and space are just tools for navigating physical reality. but not barriers to consciousness. The universe, in its essence, is a mystery. Quantum physics reveals this clearly through Heisenberg's famous uncertainty principle, which states that we cannot know the exact position and velocity of a particle simultaneously. The more we try to measure one, the less we know about the other. This principle reflects a broader truth. There are limits to what we can understand, and the universe appears to operate at levels beyond our total control. In spirituality, this uncertainty is not seen as a failure, but as part of the great divine mystery, where not all answers are immediately available. This mystery, in both science and spirituality, invites us to explore the unknown. Just as the quantum universe defies our logical understanding, spiritual traditions teach us to embrace the unknowable. Alfredo Emerson suggested that there is a divine order beyond human perception, and by aligning ourselves with this wisdom, we find peace in uncertainty. The mystery, whether quantum or spiritual, reminds us that not everything can be measured, and this acceptance allows us to access an understanding deepest part of life. This uncertainty opens the door to personal growth. When we understand that not everything can be measured, calculated, or predicted, we become more open to the flow of life. Embracing the mystery of the universe is, in itself, an act of courage and confidence. In science, it means continuing to search, without the guarantee of a definitive answer. In spirituality, it means opening oneself to the divine plan, knowing that there is an order bigger, even when we don't see it. Emerson said that by surrendering to this mystery, we gain the necessary wisdom to live in harmony with the universe. And so, uncertainty becomes a transformative force. Knowing that your consciousness can influence the reality around you opens doors to a power that few dare to explore. Starting today, you have the opportunity to question everything you thought you were fixed and immutable. You are ready to take control of your own reality. The universe responds to your intentions and thoughts, and science is proving what spiritual traditions have taught for centuries. True change begins with understanding your role as a co-creator. And the only way to connect with this divine intelligence is through meditation. We've developed a suite of audio tools to help you learn more and get immediate access. Click the link on the screen or in the comments. If this video made sense to you, write in the comments, "Did it make sense to me?"